This is a kindergarten class. The standard and objective is Common Core reading, speaking and listening, and collaborative conversations. The focus today is describing and drawing and speaking audibly and building observation skills and having conversations surrounding those observations. Students are reasoning their observations and participating in collaborative conversation about the observations that they've made. This is a class set in a suburban elementary class. There are 3 students present that are representative from a resource room, special ed room, but they are able to be inclusive in a regular ed classroom. Hello class, we are doing a scientist experiment where we're going out into the garden today. So, remember the labels we made? What are the labels we did? Yes, do you remember them? So, you guys all did a great job at making waterproof labels. So we have the basil label, the lavender label, the fern label, the roses label, tomato label, mint label, and rabbit ears. So what we're going to do with all of these is we're going to replace the ones that were made last year and put these ones, because the ones that were made last year are kind of getting a little dilapidated. So that's what we're going to do today. But addition to putting these new labels that you guys beautifully made, we are also going to be doing some observations. So I did a practice observation. So now most of you guys know what lavender looks like, or what a fern looks like, but I'm going to remind you. Do you guys know Miss Mary's fern that I have in the classroom? So I did a practice fern observation for you guys. So you guys had an idea of what we're going to do today. So I used my 5 senses. So who can tell me what one of the senses that we have is? Bobby? Yes, we smell. We use our nose. Well, I smelled the fern, and it kind of smelled kind of stinky to me. So I put that it smelled stinky. What is another sense we have? Sarah? Yes, we do have our sight. We use our eyes. So I said that it's really pretty and it's green. And it also has, if you can see, the leaves have kind of a cluster at the top of it, and it has 4 segments. Hey, Lily, can you tell me another sense that we use? We do use our hands to touch. So I kind of touched it gently. I didn't yank at it because I don't want to rip it, and I don't want to do anything to hurt the environment, right? So what I did was I touched it very gently, and it felt very soft, but it kind of had a little bit of a sticky feel to it, so I put that down too. Another thing is that we can describe how it looks. So the colors we can use, we can even look at the soil and feel how the soil looks. But there's one other sense that we're missing. What do you guys think it is? Taste! We use our mouth. Yup. But I don't want to have you guys taste it just because it's a fern and it kind of will be a little yucky. But there might be some things outside in the garden that we can taste. Would you guys like that? Yeah, that would be great. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing. I made mine really fun. Alright, so now we're going to go outside and check, and I'm going to give you each one of the labels, and that's the section of the garden that you guys will be working on to observe. I'm going to give you a sheet of paper where you can draw. I'm going to be observing you guys while you do your observations. I'm going to come around and make sure that you guys are using your 5 senses, or your 4 senses, to use your observations. So you can write things, you can draw things, You can use crayons or colored pencils. Um, and Michael and Sally, you guys can stay with me and we're going to observe basil together. And you guys can tell me what you observe and we can do it together as a project and it'll be really fun. Does anyone else have any questions? Also, if you guys have want to use a squishy pencil or you need squishes to observe, I also have a bin that's full of binoculars that you guys can use to kind of zoom in, and I have some magnifying glasses that you can use to take a look at the leaves really close. And at the end, we're going to taste some of the some of the parts of the garden that we can taste, like some apples and tomatoes, and maybe even some of the herbs like mint or basil. Can I find out? All right, now that we have done our observations, I want some people to share what they've observed. So, what are some of the smells that you guys observed? Using your nose, what were some of the things you smelled? Sally? Yes, basil has a very kind of stinky smell to it. Yeah. Can you describe a little bit more? It tastes like pizza. You know what? That's crazy. You know why? It's because sometimes basil is put on pizza, so that's a really good observation. Does anyone else have any other observations from using their nose? Yes, that's a great observation, Bobby. Awesome job. Yes. So mint tastes kind of like gum or smell kind of like gum to you. Yep, that's a great one. How about you, Michael? What did you smell? What did you observe with your nose? That is awesome. The tomatoes kind of smelled like dirt. Huh. That's a very good observation. For informal, before you guys leave, I'd like for all of you guys to write down on a sheet of paper, and you're going to give it to me as you leave the classroom because we're going to go to recess. But before you leave the classroom, I want you all to write down on a sheet and tell me what was your favorite thing that you saw, you smelled, or you tasted or felt today in the garden. What was your favorite thing about the experience in the garden? And maybe it was what we tasted, because weren't those tomatoes really yummy? Yeah, so you guys write it down and then you can give it to me and we will have